years because the food was bad or they thought the procedure was bad, they'd come back. But, you know, again, it's very weather dependent. This business is very weather dependent. And it made a lot of sense for the city to have 2 golf courses when golf used to do $7.9 million in revenue. Unfortunately, that revenue's never been there. I mean, it's not like it's growing, and you can say, yeah, well, hopefully Woodland's closed now, so we should get some of the Woodlands business, and some of the other courses are struggling, but we've seen an uptick from Woodlands. We picked up a couple additional leagues from Woodlands that we could squeeze in. Huh?
I didn't realize that
Yeah.
closed.
Yep, so.
One more question.
Yes.
Just slipped my mind.
So you'll see that big jump on lessons there. We've hired a gentleman that used to do lessons as a contract basis. We've hired him as a supervisor. But the deal about, you know, hiring him as a supervisor, we offset that by doing lessons, and we collect all the lessons fee and give him a smaller percentage back. So that's the reason that the jump in lessons revenue. Basically, the supervisor should pay for themselves by the revenue that they collect in the lessons.
My question was going to be on advertisement. Roughly, I mean, I know we do the golf show. Do we do like any ads in magazines, anything like that?
We have, but it's been such a small budget. Yeah, it's been such a, you know, social media. We've got Carl out there, we've got email blast. We're with that new program, Golf Now. They do a ton of that for us as well. But we don't have like a set budget.
Okay.
I mean, you know, most companies that do $3 million a year in revenue, you know, would carve out their own
Sure.
budget for advertising. It might be 1% of sales, it might be as high as 10% of sales.
I mean, I understand with
As
the
you know, as an expense.
amount of money coming in, I understand. But I think one of the things, and I'm guilty, and the reason I'm saying this is because I always forget about the Lakes of Taylor restaurant. You know, and then, you know, me and my wife got that coupon
Yes.
from something, and that's what brought us in there, and it was like, this is an outstanding meal, and then we run into Cindy and Gary over there, you know, and, you know, it's just, unfortunately, when it sits back, and I think what hurts that place in the wintertime too, is that walk from the parking lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, from the second row of parking, it's 500 steps.
Oh, at least.
From your car, I counted it.
And
Up the
when
stairs,
it's
2
10
stairs,
degrees,
and
it's
then
through
in.
the, you know, the wind is blowing through there, it's, you know, it makes you think twice about, do I really?
Jason, can we see the weight?
No problem.
Jason,
It's a little bit of different format. Jeff's department does a little bit different format than the standard format, so his staff kind of comes up with, because there's a lot of part-time, a lot of temps with golf, parks and rec, so they do a little bit of their own little calculations, and we review it, but for the most part, they do their own calculations, so that's why you see the format a little bit different, but here's everything here, Jeff, it's what Amber submitted.
Yeah, yeah. So what we do is we go through there and identify the full-time or contractual people. They're kind of above the line, so those people are people on letters of employment. And then everybody below the line are more seasonal, more hourly. So they're kind of without benefits below the line. So I don't really worry about how many banquet servers, how many cleaners, how many dishwashers, how many supervisors. We do worry, but we just budget number of people, number of hours. So that's how many hours I have for range
You
attendance.
said all those people above the total
Yes,
management thing are elderly.
yes.
And does the chef do just food at the lakes?
No, Meadows too.
Does, okay.
Both of them, they share. They're
Oh.
split.
You will see a split when we open up the Meadows, you will see a split.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically, I don't have the percentages on this particular sheet because it's a little bit different format, but you'll see them on the Meadows, but the hours, you'll see this one here, if it's 140, or 1,040, so it's probably 50%. And you'll see the other 1,040 at Meadows when we open Meadows.
Jason, is 17, is that just?
And I'm split between golf,
Yeah,
TSX,
that's great.
and
We don't really touch it.
some to the, well, they split me up. I try to put as much as I can in golf and TSX, since those are 2 enterprise funds. Collect revenue and pay expense,
There you go.
take it off the general fund. But as golf, you know, struggles, or I'm pushing more to TSX every year because it's, you know, financially doing a little bit better.
Just curiosity, does Tiffin pay any of his salary?
I don't know, is that
Nope.
factored in the cost allocation? chargebacks?
Not me.
It is not actually.
It is not.
It is not.
No, Chipper does not pay me.
I was just thinking about, don't they pay George, George?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it's broken down. That's how we come up with it and say, that's what we need to manage a year, that number of hours. And I'd love to say that I came up with that. I've only been doing it 10 years, but I kind of took the old protocol and we went backwards and said, how many people do we, or how many hours do we really need of each people? And this is kind of what we need. Now, you have to understand, I hardly ever go over. I don't think I've been over in a number of years, but a lot of times I'm under, because you gotta remember, if the golf course is raining, then we don't need range attendants and starters and PAs that, players assistants that go out and get the carts and clean them and bring them in. I mean, we do have rain days, so, but the cost you save on the revenue you lose is not a one-for-one either, so.
Okay, going back to the summary real quick. Anything on the expense side, Jeff, you would like to address with links?
No, I mean, it's pretty, it's pretty straightforward. I don't, there's nothing there that, I mean, the things that I would like to, remove from here would be the retirees' health, but I can't do that with the accounting standards. The OPEB costs, I'd love to do that, I can't do that. The new accounting changes, it's gotta be booked or it's gotta be charged where it was earned, so. That's a big burden, and that's a burden that I'll never get away from. I'd love to, if I'm gonna pay these retiree costs, I'd like to get them back and at least let them be rangers or starters or something, so I can get some value out of it, but it doesn't work that way. There's a lot of people that retired from Taylor Golf that, a lot of municipalities didn't have retirees from their golf courses.
So we actually let people, how many years did they have to work their year?
15,
15 to get retirement.
There's some pretty good ones too.
very good ones. Yep. Very good ones, so. So I can't get away from that, and I understand that. And I always ask the mayor to remove it, and he says, tough luck, figure it out.
It is what it is.
I know what I can do about it.
Yeah. Which is right, I mean, it's not wrong, I mean, I can ask.
Well, it's probably me who says tough luck.
No, he said it before I even got to you, so.
The auditors will say it too, so it's like,
Yeah.
what we just done.
Right, so, yeah, I mean,
And your residency bonus on here, you don't have anybody there just now?
didn't we eliminate that for the LOEs there, the resident bonus?
Yeah, they were contractually negotiated,
Yeah.
and most of these, I don't know that there's.
I have no TGMAs anymore.
Yeah,
I have
was
all
gonna say,
LOEs.
Yeah, so if there's no TGM employees, then there would be no resident bonus.
No, I have all LOEs, letters of
Because there's a difference somewhere now.
yeah.
Now, the one thing that Jeff has been able to do successfully, as of late anyhow, is utilize our internal departments for on-course support as well. So I know like DPW's came out and done some work, I don't know, Jeff, if it was tree cutting
Yes,
or
it was both.
weed trimming or something, and so that, some of those in-kind services have been helpful.
Very helpful. So let me give you 3 examples. One, all of our tree trimming in our parking lot on the golf course. The tree crew came out and trimmed for us, which saved all of our services because our golf course maintenance company only trimmed to a certain level, size of a branch or whatever, because it requires a different safety and insurance. The second thing that they helped us with was very, very beneficial was meadows have very bad drain systems. They would get flooded, the cart path, so we'd have to close the course. And if you got a big rain, an inch or more, we have to close for 3-4 days. Well, not having revenue for 3-4 days is a killer. So the DPW and the water department came out and ran all kinds of new lines. They excavated the ground, removed the cart path, and underneath put in all these drains. And after that big rain last weekend, we were playable the next day. So that's really, I'm hopeful to get more playable days because I don't measure just rain days as rain days. You gotta remember, if it rains an inch and the courses are so wet that the carts can't go on the fairways, that's a rain day too. Because the first call in the morning, yes, are you open? Yep. Is it cart path only? Yep. Goodbye. Guilty. They don't wanna walk, they wanna drive the cart everywhere, so.
I wanna go out west with us.
So, that, and then the last part, the third thing, as the mayor mentioned too, is they brought in excavators and they knocked woods down in between the holes to allow the air to breathe, because we had microclimates in there, where it'd be like 80 out, but it'd be 104 by the greens and by the by the fairways that had tree lines on both sides and wouldn't let the air through, so the grass was dying. So they put fans out by the green, so the fan would circulate and move the air by the green, so they did that in the winter when everything was frozen, they brought in their excavators and knocked holes. Now aesthetically, you can see a few holes that you didn't used to be able to see from different fairways, but horticulturally or agriculturally, it's gonna be beneficial to the grass, so hopefully, you know, I mean, what we try to do is keep green grass all year and keep it nice so that we can get the maximizer of it. That's the key, that's the key. If your greens are bad and your fairways and tees are bad, no one's gonna play. So you gotta keep it as, so, but there's nothing that really stands out. I mean, what really stands out is the number of rounds. We wanna do more rounds. We're budgeted for 30,000 rounds, 30,450 at Lakes, and we're budgeted for 36,801 rounds at Meadows. And if I go in every morning, or I go in the afternoon before I go home at night, and I ask the person to look at the front desk how many rounds they did for the day, and they tell me with leagues it's under 200, I know we're in trouble. But if they tell me there's 200 rounds or more, it was a good day for Taylor Golf. I don't even have to look at the sales report, or I just know based on the number of rounds what we're gonna do with revenue and what's gonna go upstairs, because there's a certain percentage of rounds we do are gonna go upstairs, so I know that the food and beverage total is gonna be good upstairs too. So, I mean, yes, there's a lot of moving parts, but after doing it a while, you kind of figure out real quick where those moving parts are that you gotta really stay focused.
What's it cost per round?
Depends, the time of